I think this is a really interesting moment in visual research methods, and there's quite a lot of experimentation going on. I've got examples here of a particular set of experiments which are actually all trying to do the same thing. And what they're trying to do is create what Richard Rogers has called meta pictures. So they are working with thousands and thousands of online images. And in order to analyze them, they are scraping them off the web using hashtags. They are then running them through various kind of software packages in order to create images that visualize these images, meta pictures, images of images. They're kind of data visualizations, I suppose, if you like. But what they're also interested in doing is thinking about not what these images represent, what emerges as these images are done things with online. And these pictures, these meta pictures, are efforts to try and visualize that emergence. So my first example, it's about protests in Canada about a proposed oil pipeline. And it works with a corpus of 13,000 posts on Instagram. The paper talks in detail about the precise method. But what it works with is not just the images, but also all the other information that you can gather about a digital image, who posted it, what the hashtags associated with it were, what accounts then share digital methods. What the authors of this paper identify are 4 clusters of protesters, 3 clusters of protesters against the pipeline, and 1 set of pro-pipeline Instagrammers. And what they've got here, they've identified, so the little dots on the screen there, you can zoom into them and actually see the Instagram image itself. But they've also clustered them, and at the bottom of the picture, the 4 typical images from each of those clusters. The first one is against the pipeline. Images of protest, particularly working with First Nations protesters. The second one is what they call Vancouver NIMBY, which is Vancouver's really beautiful, you mustn't put a pipeline through it. Then there's a Save the Whales grouping, which is the small circle near the top. And then there's the pro-pipeline advocates, and they talk about the ways in what they call how issue publics emerge from this Instagram activity, particular groups of people following particular accounts, posting particular kind of images, sharing, liking particular kind of images. And it's through this activity of Instagram that these particular publics are formed. So again, there's this sense of kind of emergence through the Instagram activity. I think it's very typical of this kind of digital approach to digital images. So where are we now? I think we're in a very interesting moment with lots of experimentation going on with digital methods. But I think also we're in a moment where a lot of the very well-established, more, let's say, methods with longer histories of qualitative, interpretive, and indeed quantitative visual research methods are still going strong and still have huge amounts to offer. And so I think it's a very interesting moment for visual research methods.